The world of Frozen has many magical creatures, from the rock trolls of the Valley of the Living Rock to the elemental spirits of the Enchanted Forest. Frozen has no shortage of magical creatures. This video won't just explore the magical creatures from the movies, but also the books. A bit of a disclaimer, this video will only include creatures that have appeared up to 2023, so anything from Frozen 3 or 4 won't be mentioned. If you are watching this in the future, I also may miss a magical creature since there are so many Frozen books out there, but I will include as many of them as I know of as possible. Finally, there will be minor to major spoilers for Frozen 1, 2, and the shorts. The following books mentioned in the video will be in the video's description. Anyway, here are the magical creatures of Frozen. First I want to get Olaf, Marshmallow, and the Snow Geese out of the way before I get to the rest of the creatures. As children, Anna and Elsa loved making snowmen. At the start of Frozen, the last snowman they made together, they named Olaf. During the Let It Go scene, when Elsa is finally experimenting with her powers, she accidentally creates Olaf. Olaf's main thing is the fact that he is a walking, talking snowman, and is basically invincible. Unless something happens to Elsa like near the end of Frozen 2. Before Frozen 2, Olaf's main weakness was that he was made of snow, which means that he had all the advantages and disadvantages of that. If it was hot enough, he would melt, but at the end of Frozen 1, Elsa gave Olaf a snow cloud that would allow him to run around in hot weather. By Frozen 2, Olaf's snow became permafrost, which means he didn't need the snow cloud anymore. Marshmallow was created by Elsa when she tried to kick Anna, Olaf, Kristoff, and Sven out of the Ice Palace. Most people think Marshmallow ended up dying to Hans, but at the end of Frozen 1, in a post-credits scene, it's shown that Marshmallow is alive and well, living inside the Ice Palace. Nowadays in the universe, Marshmallow looks after the Snow Geese at the Ice Palace. Marshmallow has frost abilities such as breathing cold air, etc. Marshmallow may look like a monster, but is generally pretty peaceful. The Snow Geese were born when Elsa was sick and sneezing during Anna's birthday. There's honestly not much to say about the Snow Geese. The Snow Geese are small snowmen that love to cause mischief. Olaf has named every Snow Geese, and the Snow Geese live in the Ice Palace with Marshmallow looking after them. Now that Elsa's snow creatures are done, here are the rest of the magical creatures of Frozen. The rock trolls first appeared during the intro to Frozen. They were shown adopting Kristoff and removing Anna's memory of Elsa's magic. Rock trolls live very long lifetimes. They can live hundreds of years. In the book The Lost Legends of Fixer-Upper, one of the young trolls and a 12-year-old Kristoff comment on one of the trolls being young for being married. "Only 372, said Little Rock. "Kind of young to get married." Kristoff nodded. Boulder and Cliff didn't get married till they were 500 years old. Rock trolls are nocturnal and only come out during nighttime. During the daytime, they just look like normal rocks. Rock trolls hibernate during different times of the year. For example, Grandpappy was hibernating during the second Anna and Elsa book, Memory and Magic. Kristoff shook his head. "Grandpappy is hibernating for a while," he said. "He'll be back when the seasons turn." "I'm not waiting till the seasons turn," Anna said. Despite being magical creatures, only Grandpappy can perform magic. Grandpappy's magical abilities are being able to see into the future and being able to remove memories. In the book Dangerous Secrets, the story of Agnar and Aduna, in the book a young Agnar and Aduna see an ice harvester getting their memories removed by Grandpappy. The rock trolls wear crystals that mean different things. "What about that one?" Anna asked, looking at one that wasn't lit at all. "My tracking crystal," he explained. "It won't glow until I have excellent tracking skills. If I don't earn it, I can't be in the ceremony." Around Christmas time, the trolls would celebrate a troll named Flemingrad. Kristoff clutched his chest. Without me? One of his favorite troll traditions was celebrating a jolly old troll named Flemingrad, who was rather big for his size. Legend had it that humans once attacked the valley, and Flemmy was too large to get away. Instead, he blended into the fjord. In honor of Flemmy's sacrifice, the trolls made a likeness of him every December, sang a gathering song about it. Frozen 2 introduced the elemental spirits. There are 4 of them, and they each control one of 4 elements: wind, water, fire, and earth. The elemental spirits reside in the Enchanted Forest. They have been able to control elements even while still being trapped in the forest. For example, right after the Into the Unknown scene, parts of Arendelle got destroyed. When nature gets threatened, the spirits become violent and wild. Bruni is the elemental spirit for fire. Bruni is a salamander that can shoot and set himself on fire. Bruni seems to also love being in snow. Gale is the elemental spirit for wind. The Norvoldra could call Gale to help them with stuff. Iduna had a friendship with Gale according to Dangerous Secrets. Nowadays, Gale delivers letters between Anna and Elsa. The Waternock is the elemental spirit for water. The Waternock is a water horse that can travel insanely quickly through water and can run on top of it. Elsa rides the Waternock to get around, for example from the Enchanted Forest to Ataholan. The Earth Giants are the elemental spirit for Earth. The Earth Giants, like the Rock Trolls, sleep during the day and are mostly active at night. They have been seen awake during the day though, multiple times throughout Frozen 2. For example, at the end of the movie. The Earth Giants, when not provoked, are generally quite peaceful. The Earth Giants, when provoked, will try to either crush you or chuck giant boulders. Now that I've covered the magical creatures from the movies, now it's time to cover the magical creatures from the books. I will generally talk about the magical creatures which have had page time, and I will save magical creatures that have been lightly mentioned for the end of the video. The Nattmara is probably the most dangerous and malicious magical creature so far in Frozen's world. The Nattmara is attracted to fear. When the Nattmara first attacks, it's first seen in nightmares. Then the areas surrounding nature begins to wither away. Animals' fur starts turning white and their eyes turn white, and they kind of just sit there, doing nothing. When the first signs of the Nattmara appeared, the trolls disappeared. The Nattmara grows stronger from fear. Its physical form is generally black sand but can change form to things that identify with the victim. During the book Frozen 2 Forest of Shadows, the Nattmara's main form was that of a wolf. By the end of the book, the Nattmara's power had grown so much that the wolf was the size of Arendelle Castle. It probably looked something like this. When in the presence of Nattmara, people's fears and anxieties get greatly amplified. The Nattmara can possess people it comes into contact with, and when people are sleeping when the Nattmara is active, they can't wake up. If the victims wake up, they would be sent into a frenzy and would endlessly scream. The Nattmara can also mess with people's memories too. The only way to defeat the Nattmara is to overcome your fear. The Huldrefólk are creatures with pointy ears and tails. They live under Miner's Mountain and generally don't ever communicate with people. They are probably considered a little more dangerous compared to the trolls. They blow up the mines to discourage miners from discovering their city. If someone does find their city, the usual response from the Huldrefólk is to throw that person or people into lava. They have skin that allows them to camouflage in their environment to avoid detection from regular people. They take items that people have lost into a library inside their city. Most of the Huldrefólk only speak to people in words, not full sentences. Only the king of the Huldrefólk and the king's assistant could speak normally. The king reasons that it requires a lot of effort from the Huldrefólk. Yes, the Kraken has appeared in the Frozen books, specifically one of the recent books released. Always found a Frozen Anthology. Kraken was more enormous than Elsa ever could have believed. A mass of heaving white skin that shivered with lavender and grey speckles as it moved in the darkness. Its colours seeming to shift and shimmer like a butterfly in sunlight. The Kraken in the story is only aggressive because it was hit by a harpoon, and people were in its territory. The Kraken won't hurt anyone else. It is not to be hunted. This is its home, where we are the trespassers. Also, in one of the stories of Always Found a Frozen Anthology, two more mythical creatures show up. One is the Fossegrim. First appearing in the Frozen Google stories, the Fossegrim is a spirit of waters. In the book, the Fossegrim takes the form of a young man. The book states that the Fossegrim has at least been around since King Runard's time. The main ability of the Fossegrim is that it can force people to dance when it plays its fiddle. The last magical creature in Always Found is the Frost Monster. The story in the book starts with frost freezing Arendelle's crops, and it being at its worst near the North Mountain. The frost monster can also spawn frost wolves. Eyes clung to their fur and teeth like a second skin, but didn't appear to bother them. These were ice wolves, and they were gaining on them. The book describes the frost monster as it had bright sapphire eyes and scraggly, dagger-sharp tree branches for arms. "Hey, he looks like me," Olaf said. "Only like a mean version of me." "And he's bigger," Elsa said. Its main ability is that it has frost breath. Whenever Elsa used her powers against the frost monster, it just grew in power. Near the end of the story, the frost monster reveals that the reason it's mad is because Elsa turned winter back to summer at the end of Frozen. "You made me, then abandoned me," the creature spoke. "Summer is a blight on the land. The light, it burns and melts, and it hurts me. Bring back winter." It seems that the frost monster was probably made accidentally by Elsa during the events of Frozen 1 off-screen. After Elsa apologized to the frost monster, it turned into a lumpy, harmless snowman. Someone can turn into a Draugr after death when they have some sort of regret. The Draugr can cause storms and memory loss in people in the surrounding area. It appears like a wraith. They usually come back from the dead for one purpose, one unfinished task, one regret, something about their past they hope to correct. The reason, in my opinion, the Nattmara is much more dangerous than a Draugr is because, unlike the Nattmara, depending on the Draugr, it may not have malicious intent. To defeat a Draugr, you just need to fulfill its unfinished purpose. These creatures haven't appeared large enough to be mentioned during the video. Some of these creatures have been mentioned in an in-universe book. Characters have mentioned some of these creatures or have been in legends, so most of the creatures here may not even exist. Lastly, this is the section that probably excludes a large amount of minor creatures that I have probably missed. Dragons, fairies, giants, creatures from Aaron's legend, goblins. Frozen's world is full of magical creatures. Hopefully during this video I've shown how diverse Frozen's world is, with the creatures of myth and legend in its universe.